Have you just bought yourself an iPhone 16e? If so, do you realise quite the powerhouse of an iPhone that you've got in your hands right now? Now look, I know it's labelled as the starter iPhone, the budget iPhone, an iPhone full of old parts, but in honesty, it's so much more than that. So for all of those of you saying that the iPhone 16e is too expensive and you shouldn't buy it, sit back and look at some of the pro features that you get on the new iPhone 16e. I'm David, and this is D Talking Tech. The iPhone 16e is kind of what an iPhone should always have been before they got too bloated, too clever, and too fat. It's the quintessential iPhone. If you think back to what Steve Jobs said when he came out all those years ago and showed us the very first iPhone, he said it's an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. And that's exactly, in a nutshell, what the iPhone 16e is. It does all the things you need an iPhone to do really well, and I would argue to this day at a fair, if not budget price. I've fallen in love with my iPhone 16e, and I can't put it down. I'm using it more and more and more. The form factor, the way it just sits in your pocket so easily, it's so light. It's just a great phone to use. It's had some bad press early on, but I still love it. Now, there's some features that are hidden on the iPhone 16e that not many people are talking about, and it's those features, some of which are lifted directly from the iPhone Pro series of phones, that I wanted to run through with you in this video, and the first of those is audio mix. I'm not much of a user of artificial intelligence, and you could argue, given the mess that Apple Intelligence is in, that's no bad thing. But when Apple does get it right, and they will get it right eventually, they really do nail it. And the features that we're beginning to see filter through, like clean up in photos, work really, really well. And it's the same with audio mix. Now, Apple has got a great heritage when it comes to audio. It's part of their DNA. And this app really shows off just what they can do with it. Now, think of audio mix as a way of recovering, enhancing and fixing audio that you take with your videos. You have to use the native camera app that comes with your iPhone. But once you recorded any video, what you do then is go to find it in your library and you begin to edit it. If you've never done it before, the edit bar is those three little blue slider icons underneath. Tap that, and the second of the icons is audio mix. Open it up, and in there you'll see there's some settings. There's one that says standard, in-frame, studio, and cinematic. In theory, they all have vaguely and fractionally different use cases, but the one I like the best, and I found works the best for me in most cases, is in-frame. I set it to a value of about 65, and it sounds lovely. It really does lift and enhance the audio on your video recordings. The rule of thumb with audio is less is more. Don't push it too hard. Once you begin pushing audio fix too hard of any kind, it's going to sound artifacty, robotic, and just not natural. So go gentle, sort of anywhere up to about 65 sounds good to me, and it's a real sweet spot. Once you've made those adjustments, all you need to do is go and save the video. You can either overwrite the original video or save it as a new clip. Generally, it's worth saving as a new clip in case you want to go back and do some edits on that original. But it's a feature that works really well. Go and give it a shot. It's great fun to play with as well. The action button is the next thing I want to mention to you. If you're coming from an older iPhone, it's possible that you've never used one and you're not even sure what it's about. You might not even have used it on your new iPhone 16e. Well, it's the button right at the very top there on the left-hand side. And think about it as a shortcut button. It's the way, just with one press of one button, you can launch features and apps that you think you're going to use the most regularly. Now, out of the box, it's set to silent, but if you go to settings, action button, there you'll see there's a whole list that you can set it to. You just map it to the feature that you want to use the most. Camera, torch, shortcuts, translate, voice memos, there's loads and loads and loads in there. Once you train your brain to use it regularly, you will not stop using it. It's a great feature, so set the action button to whatever you think you're going to be using the most. If you're enjoying these weekly videos that I'm bringing you about everything Apple, Macs, iPhones, iPads, one simple way to help me out and to help the channel grow is just by giving it that sub and also sharing. I know a lot of you are sharing the videos out, and thank you so much for that. I've got loads of plans, loads of great videos in mind I want to make for you, and that one sub helps an awful lot. Photographic Styles, that's the next thing I want to talk to you about that you might not be aware that you've got on your iPhone 16e. Now, if you're the sort of person that just enjoys taking photos of the family, the kids, holidays, food, whatever, but you're not the sort of person that enjoys fiddling around in post, as we call it. In other words, going into something like Lightroom and playing around with photos, then Photographic Styles is for you. It's going to make your photos look that bit more professional and just with your little flavour and touch on it as well. It's more just a simple filter that you're putting on top. It's that these Photographic Styles look at your images and they adjust specific colours in different parts of the image. It's really clever how they've worked it out, but it does work. It's a one and done thing. Once you set it, you don't have to worry about it ever again. Again, you go to settings, camera, and this time Photographic Styles. In there, you've got 5 presets. Choose one of the presets that you think looks the kind of style and feel that you want. Then, when you open your camera app again, you'll see there's an icon in the top right-hand corner of the screen that depicts your particular photo style that you've chosen. Tap on that and you can just fine tune it to set the tone and warmth values to exactly what you want. And once you've done that, every photo you take will have that look to it. It's such a simple way to just enhance your photos and make them look that bit more professional, just to elevate and really look like you take some care and love over the images that you're sharing out. And by the way, when you're in that camera app, one other thing I suggest you to is turn on preserve settings. That's a simple little button, but does a lot. Basically, it means every time you reopen the camera app, it will remember how you last had it set for video or for cameras, for photos. So just turn on preserve settings. It's one of those things, again, one and done, but in the long run, it saves so much heartache. Burst mode is another feature that's been on iPhones for a long time, but not many people use it and not many people mention it as a feature, but it can be really, really handy. What you need to do is to go to settings, camera, and then make sure you've got enabled use volume up for burst. So now when you open up your camera app, all you need to do is hold down the volume up button on the side of your phone. What that will do is take a rapid series of pictures. It's really useful if you're, say, watching football, cricket, sport of any kind, if your kids are playing sport, if they're into athletics, swimming, hockey. It's that kind of thing. Say if the dog's out in the park, you want to catch it running. It's that sort of use that it's really intended for. Once you've taken your rapid burst of photos, go to it in your library, tap it open, and there you can go through all the different pictures that it's taken, and you can choose which ones you want to save to your library, and it's simple as that. That is how to use burst mode on iPhone 16e. Did you know that was there? Another pro feature that you've got on the 16e is long exposure. Now, there's all this jargon in photography. If you're not sure what long exposure is, you know those photos where you see cars moving, you've got streaks of light going behind them? That's a long exposure shot, and you can do it on your new iPhone 16e. It's really simple as well. There's nothing really you need to worry about doing other than enabling live photographs, which you can do from the top of the screen in the camera app. I'd leave that switch on all the time if I was you. That way, if you want to go back to any of your photos in the future and you want to see what they look like with some long exposure on there, it's enabled. Once you've taken a photo, you'll notice that the photo has a little tag at the top which says live. Tap on that. There's a list of options that come up. One of those is long exposure. You don't need to do anything. Just hit long exposure, let your 16e do its thing, and there you go. You suddenly got that pro look of motion, speed, and graphics with a long exposure shot on your iPhone 16e. Time lapse is another bit of jargon to throw your way. If you're not sure what that is, you know when you see videos, say of a creator putting a desk together and it's sped up very quickly, or clouds moving in the sky, or flowers opening, that is time lapse. And believe it or not, you've got it on the 16e. Just scroll all the way to the left on the bottom of your camera screen and you'll see it there. You'll need a tripod and you'll need to be patient. There's no way around it. You'll need to be patient. Just let the iPhone do its thing. It starts off recording 2 frames every second, which is 15x real time. And that doubles every 10 seconds, maxing out at 1 frame every 8 seconds, which is 240x real time. Time-lapse videos can look so creative. It just elevates it to a whole nother level. Go and play with it. I say you'll need to be patient, but it is on your iPhone 16e. Right next to time-lapse is slow-mo. You've got 2 choices when it comes to slow-mo on your 16e. You can shoot at 720p at 240 frames per second, or you can shoot in full HD at 120 FPS. It's a cinematic fave. You know what I mean by slow-mo. It can really look impressive, and it's so simple to do. You've got those 2 settings there. Use it. Enjoy it. There's a couple of tips I just wanted to say about the camera before finishing really with the camera, and that is just the basics. Always make sure you tap the center of your screen to lock focus and the auto exposure as well. And don't play around with manual zooms. Stick to the 1x, which is 26mm, or the 2x, which is 58mm. And if you need then to crop in, do it in post, do it in the Photos app, edit and blow it up there. Just trust me, you'll get the best results by leaving the camera at their native focal length. It works the best, the way that Apple intended it to be. There's a few other apps that are just worth taking note of to do with the camera app. One of those is to do with video and photo. If you're taking a video, did you know that on your 16e you can also take a photo at the same time? You just tap the button while you're shooting video and you've got a photo. It's only in 8 megapixels. It's kind of a reference shot, but it's a really useful feature to have. And also, you've got pause in video as well. It's a feature we were waiting to come to iPhone for a long, long time. Well, it has come to iPhone last year. It's on your 16e. So say you're watching a football match, the ball goes off the pitch. Rather than waiting for everything to get going again, you can just hit pause and then release pause when the action gets going again. It's a really useful feature. Also, the port, the USB-C port that you've got on your iPhone is more than just for charging your phone up with. Say you've got some large video footage on your phone that you want to move. You could use AirDrop, but sometimes that can fail on larger files. Why not put in an external SSD like this Samsung T7 SSD? You'll find the drive under Files, Browse, and there you'll see the T7 drive, whatever drive you've put in. And if you want to export a photo from your Photos app to it, when you're looking at the export options, again, you'll see Files, go to Browse, and there you'll find the drive that you've put in, and you can put your files in there to move very quickly around. So just remember, that port is more than for just charging your phone up with. I know Control Center doesn't sound exciting, but there's loads you can do in there. Scroll through to the final page, long press it, and you can add apps. And there's some really cool apps and functions you can add to Control Center, like magnifier, vehicle motion cues to help with motion sickness, and screen recording. The list goes on. Play around in Control Center. It's really, really good fun, and it just makes the phone yours. You just need to peel back the skin a little bit on the iPhone 16e just to realize how much you have in there to play with, what great Pro features you have. In fact, I've begun to think of the iPhone 16e as almost like an iPhone Pro Lite. You've got some of the really neat features that have only ever been on the Pro phones now available on the 16e. If this is a part bin for old phones, I'm very happy with this bin. Thank you very much. And if you've enjoyed this video about me talking about the iPhone 16e, there's another one for you to watch right now where I think the iPhone 16e represents the start of a new era of iPhones.